Best of time to you, my listeners. Welcome back to Choki Table Media. I want us to discuss and examine the presidential air fleet in Nigeria and all over the world. It is what we call PAF, Presidential Air Fleet. There has been discussion and controversy over Nigerian buying 2 extra planes for the president and for the vice president. I want to take you through an article I read from the Vanguard newspaper written by Eric Teniola. The first time this article was published was on April 28, 2015. And that article is still very relevant today. In the article, it examined the presidential air fleet in Nigeria and all over the world. This article also explained to us the numbers of times Nigerian leaders and politicians, most especially the president, traveled all around the world. Let us try to compare what the other country have and what Nigerian has, so that we can try to bring the argument home and we can all be on the same page and know the type of system we run or they run in Nigeria according to the PAF. Currently, according to Mr. Teniola, he made us realize that before, the presidential air fleet was under the control of the secretary to the state government. The reason being that the secretary to the state government is always in the knowing when the president wants to travel or goes anywhere, so that at least it will be easier for them to know the schedule and tell the PAF pilots to know when to get ready and take the president to wherever he wants to go to. But it has been changed now. That responsibility has now been given to the National Security Advisor. So they control it now, according to this article, as at 2015. So now I believe it is still the same up to today. General Ibrahim Babangida was said to hardly travel outside Nigeria, except to visit some states when he was in power. Chief Ernest Shunekon of the interim government, whose tenure lasted less than 100 days, made use of the fleet only once when he attended the Commonwealth Conference outside Nigeria. The second time he used the air fleet was when he was overthrown and brought down to Lagos in company of Chief Dapo Sarumi. General Sani Abacha, during his time, hardly traveled outside Nigeria, according to this report. In fact, during his era, pilots attached to the presidential fleet complained of underutilization, raising fears that they might lose their licenses for not flying enough. Abacha in 1997 made only 5 trips outside Abuja, and in 1998, he made 3 trips, and the 4th will have taken him to Ouagadougou in Burkina Faso on June 8, 1998, to the African Union Conference, and that very day was the day he died. General Abdul Salam, during his time, spent less than 11 months in office, and he was too busy himself with his transition program that he hardly traveled outside Nigeria or to anywhere. He made 4 trips during his era, among which were 2 to the Niger Delta to inspect oil spillage in that area. As for President Olusegun Obasanjo, he loves travel. He loves to jet around. So he's still jetting around up to today outside Nigeria. So the numbers of time he travels outside Nigeria was not really mentioned. But we know President Obasanjo travels a lot. So right now, let us compare and contrast the numbers of fleets different countries have, and let us know also what Nigerian has as of today. PAF, It's what it is called in Nigeria. Because they have a large number of fleets, it is even the largest in the world. So, British government has none. They used to charter British Airways if their officials need to travel, like the Prime Minister and the rest, or they use Virgin Atlantic by charter. Tunisia has two, and in fact, both of them are put on sale. Hong Kong has none, and they use commercial airline or Cathay Pacific by charter or helicopter when they want to travel to anywhere. Israel as a country has none, so they lease from the state commercial airline. Kenya has one. Saudi has two. Singapore has none. South Africa, they have none. They also use an Air Force 21 squadron from the Air Force, South African Air Force. Zimbabwe, they have none. They always chartered. Tanzania has none. Ghana has one, Falcon X-Jet. Botswana has none. Burkina Faso has two. Egypt as a country has one. In fact, the one they have is a gift from Saudi Arabia. Pope, we know Pope, the head of the Catholic mission in the whole world. They don't have a plane for the Pope. They always charter from Alitalia. So, in Nigeria, Nigerian has 10, and they are now planning to buy 2 more to make it 12. The plan is to buy one for Mr. Tinubu and the second one for Shetima. Nigeria has a budget for their PAF. They used to budget around 10 billion naira annually to service these jets, and still planning to buy more. It's causing a lot of controversy in the country, whether it is okay to buy more or to leave it the way it is, or to dispose them off and use other means to travel instead of housing a lot of aircraft for the nation, which is actually costing the nation a lot of money, like I've been explaining to us now. So the Nigerian president's air fleet is maintained with over 10 billion naira annually, like I said. So the presidential fleet of Nigeria has the 3rd largest air fleet in the country, coming behind Arik Airline, which has 22, and Aero Contractor, which has 14. Those are private airliners operating in Nigeria. And the question is, can Nigeria really maintain presidential air fleet in the face of a dwindling economy? And the answer is no. And don't forget, Nigeria doesn't have the nation's airlines. The Nigerian Airways they had before has been bankrupted for a very long time, and the new one they were planning was fraudulent, so nothing came out of it from Adi Sirika, the former Minister of Aviation. The alternative is to sell some of these aircraft, like I said, to reduce the cost. To me, I think it is even cheaper to charter plane for some of the top official people traveling all around the world, instead of maintaining an air fleet for the president. The other angle is to let the Nigerian Air Force face other challenges instead of present rivalry among the senior officers over posting to presidential air fleet department. So, because they always have issue among themselves who is going to be there or who is not going to be there. I think Nigerian has many projects to tackle and many problems to solve, rather than to think about the comfort of their leaders. Because this 2 new plane they are talking about now is being pushed by the parliament, and they are saying it is very, very important for them to buy this for the president. In their statement, a member of the committee in the Senate that are championing the idea of buying these 2 planes is one Mr. Buba. Mr. Buba said in his statement to defend this action of theirs, it is true that our country is facing economic difficulty, but that will not justify jeopardizing or endangering the lives of our president and our vice president and other top officials, and any citizen for that matter. We are all aware of the air mishap in Iran and Malawi recently, which claimed the lives of the president and vice president of those countries respectively. We commiserate with the people and government of those countries, but we must also, as a people, do whatever it is necessary to lower the possibility of such a disaster in our country. So, Mr. Buba continued, he said, no sacrifice is too much to pay for the safety of our leaders and citizens. We elected them, so we have a collective responsibility to protect them all the times. When asked why the lawmakers are pushing for the new aircraft for the nation's top leaders, but uninterested in calling on government to pay workers a decent minimum wage, Senator Buba said, the recommendation the House Committee made are related to those matters. The safety of our leaders and the health of the presidential air fleet are matters of national security or national concern. Raising those matters does not mean that the committee members do not care about the issue of minimum wage, which is already been well handled by the government and organized labor. And it's been noted that in some quarters that Nigerians are only talking about the airplane and discussing about it for nothing, because the airplane has already been booked. So it remains to be delivered. So whatever you say, whatever you discuss, you can only talk. I know the Nigerian politicians will always do what they like to do, not considering what is going on in other country. So the way they spend their money, or the way they, doesn't concern. Even this economic hardship, the way it is in Nigeria, doesn't concern the politician. They only mouth it. The people themselves are not even proactive enough to let the government know that what they are doing to them is actually not the right way to treat them. Politicians are growing fat while they are asking the people to tighten their own belts. Yet the politicians refuse to tighten their own belts. You remember this week, humongous amount of money was spent to buy bulletproof tires. An amount of 244 million spent on tires in one day. And never forget that 3.7 billion was spent on vehicles in the last 10 days. You ask, why do they need bulletproof tires? Are they going to war, or are they expecting people to bomb them? The way the politicians and the leaders in Nigeria, those so-called leaders in Nigeria, spend money, you'll be wondering if Nigeria is number one country in the world. But no, we all know it is not. They know it themselves as well, but they don't just care. The state of the infrastructures in Nigeria, starting from the roads and all the rest, it doesn't concern them. Look around where you live too. If you live in Nigeria, look around where you live and tell us, how good are the roads over there? The public transportation system, how good are they? I don't think these legislators and the executives, I don't think they really know what they are doing. And they are calling for trouble. They are calling for anarchy. They are calling for people to get annoyed over them. They never even take example from what has just happened in Kenya to William Ruto. I don't know what you think. And please kindly put your comment in the comment section. And let's discuss if you think the trouble Nigeria is having now is about buying 2 more planes for just 2 people, or to face other things. Put your own comment and let us discuss about it. This is Chokitable Media, a concerned citizens trying to bring to you the information regarding the way our politicians in Nigeria spend money without looking back. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel, like the broadcast, and put on the notification button so that next time I come online, you'll be able to see other opinions from my own quarters. See you next time. Cheers.